Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Richard Lewis Show. I'm, of course, Richard Lewis. Joining me as he does every time we do one of these shows, there's Sam lurking in the background. What is wrong with you? What is that?
You just said lurking, mate. That's what comes out.
It's a fucking... Are you serious, mate? You haven't done one of these in ages. Everyone's meant to miss. Everyone's... You're just going to do this, are you? Is this it? Is this literally what we're doing? You're just going to make stupid noises.
No.
Yeah. All right, you just... all I can hear, by the way, all I can hear is your chair creaking as well, mate. Like, it's having a creak. It's under massive strain.
IKEA's finest, mate.
Oh, jeez.
Get a good wear in.
Yeah, use some of that grease from your skin and grease that wheel, mate.
Yes,
Anyway, it's good that you're here, man. We've got lots to talk about. Pretty serious. We're both out here in the baking heat of Atlanta. You enjoying America?
Yeah, it's good. It's just a bit beefy, like, at times, but yeah.
Been enjoying E-League?
Yeah, it's alright. It's a bit like of a... It's a bit of an esports event that never ends, but other than that, it's sound.
Yeah, it's the schedule's been a lot more punishing than I thought it was going to be. You know, like I didn't realize quite. Yeah, on paper it looked good because it was, you know, we're doing less hours than a regular esports event. But what I didn't realize was, first of all, not every esports event. It's only the big esports events that last 4 or 5 days out of a week. And then on top of that, obviously, you have weeks off between them. So when you're just doing this one long continuous one, it's actually taking its toll. Like, I cannot wait for the bye week. I'm just going to say that now. I can't wait for the bye week to come along and just have an actual rest because I'm not going to do the major.
Say rest. We're going somewhere, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, we're going to be working, but working, you know, just working, not actually working. So, yeah, I'm going to duck out on the major and... you know, do right by myself, mate.
It'll go to the right person, I'm sure, man.
Yeah. So, oh, hang on a minute. Just noticed something here, you know.
What? Are we live?
No,
what?
Not live. Just you're gonna have to cut this VOD together now. Am I actually on this webcam here?
No.
No, I'm on that one. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It's gonna look bad, isn't it?
No, it looks good.
You said it looked bad yesterday.
Yeah, but it doesn't though. Apparently, it's just tuning us out.
No, I'm gonna just change it, man.
Yeah, it's just staying in.
Oh.
I ain't cutting out.
Why not? Like,
because it'd just be weird, and people think we said something ridiculous.
I'd rather that than they thought we were just a bunch of inept idiots. Like,
did he change if he did look so accent?
No, I haven't yet. Like, too busy trying to figure out how to do it because I'm an old man. Or...
Go to options.
No, but it says it's on my fucking
Logitech.
Yeah.
There probably is. Like,
oh, but it's not.
I can see your new picture. Man. Oh, caught me off guard.
Hang on. It's on me extra, isn't it?
This is staying in.
No, it's definitely not. Like,
staying in.
Definitely not. Definitely not staying in.
Well, I ain't cut it.
Why not?
It's just funny. Fill up an extra 3 minutes of the show with.
But you wanted to go to bed early.
Exactly. Fill the extra 3 minutes with.
It's unacceptable, isn't it?
Can't keep beefing away. Can't keep beefing away.
All you've done is say the word beef repeatedly. There.
Beef. Let's.
Can you see me now?
No, of course I can.
Yep, I'm ending this.
He just screamed for me to call back. There he is.
Right. There you go. That one's loads better, isn't it?
Ain't even better, to be honest.
Whatever. It is what it is, mate.
Is it even using the right mic? Give the desktop one a
I was just thinking that.
Don't think it is, like.
Fucking hell.
It might be. I can't tell, really.
What a shambles has been, like. Audio jungle. Nah, it definitely is the blue snowball.
Okay, it sounds loud enough for no reason.
Sound. Okay.
I'll just carry on for wherever we were.
Oh, no, yeah. Let's just go through 3, 2, 1 type thing. Where the fuck were we going to be?
I have no idea.
What were we talking about? What are we talking about? Talking about
We just
E
saying we.
League. E League.
Yeah,
Oh, it's an event that never ends.
yeah.
Right. Okay, let's do it. Just take it from there.
Right. Start whenever you're ready. I'm gonna cut it together, innit?
Yeah, just 3, 2, 1, me.
3, 2, 1.
So yeah, so obviously, just an event that never ends. Definitely didn't change that halfway through. Definitely haven't cut that out.
Probably haven't. To be honest, like.
You better have. You better have it. You know what happens there. You're on your third strike. So anyway, obviously been a while since we've done the show. Lots going on in esports and lots to talk about. We are getting the studio set up. That's happening soon. It's happening.
Yeah, it is happening.
It's just happening slow. So we're not always going to be doing it from like what looks like a heaven for homeless people. You know what I mean? So I can't say that either anymore, can I? I can't say it either.
I ain't cutting that one out either. I can't say that.
Brilliant.
Already have.
Right. So anyway, just cut this all together. It's good, right? Just cut this entire intro together.
This is an 8-work day fucking project, man.
Yeah. Well, it'll be good. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So first thing I want to talk about, we have to go back a little bit. I don't know if you saw this, Sam. But so we're all friends, Riot Games. I think a lot of people were like, well, Richard's never going to talk about them again because he doesn't really have anything to do with League of Legends. But I think it's important to understand that, unfortunately, Riot Games, they're not going to go anywhere. Riot Games are very much going to be a presence. And I would say to a large degree, actually, a negative, dare I say, toxic presence in the esports space for quite a long period of time. They're going to make other games. Obviously, we've talked about this a lot. They're developing a first-person shooter currently. I'm told they're also developing another game. Lord only knows what that'll be. But the FPS, I'm pretty solid on. I've got some solid intel on that. I've been saying that for a while now. And just their work practices just blow my mind and what people think is like a good idea and what's acceptable. So I got linked to this, and again, it just didn't blow up, and nothing ever seems to with Riot Games. You know, they've got that subreddit on lockdown now. Anybody that criticizes anything, subreddits just removes it on the basis that, oh, you cannot address Riot Games. It is a rule. It's the one principal form of communication Riot Games has with the community. Riot Games have people that just dedicated to watching the subreddit. So the idea that it can't be a two-way street, that anything negative has to be removed, just seems patently absurd. But anyway, there was this article called Riot Games Assessing Toxicity in the Workplace, which is on Rework, or rather ReWork. And somebody linked this to me. I just couldn't believe what I was reading, dude. Like, did you see this?
No, I'm just going over it now. I'll bring it on screen for everyone to enjoy.
Right, okay, good. We're rolling now, mate. We're past that shaky start and we're in. And well, basically, what it talks about is how they actually looked at their employees' in-game chat, right, and brought them in to disciplinary.
Jesus.
No, this is true. This actually happened. Like they brought them in to discipline, confronted them, and brought them in to have disciplinary action about the way they were talking in game. Okay, and the reason they did this was, the reason they even looked at this at the first place was that they had this hypothesis that, and people will remember from the article that I published over on Breitbart, where they made people do these very weird mental health surveys, if you remember that, where players basically got like so many, like X amount of players, they got this. Anyone with a name, anyone who had a name they considered toxic, any word that was on a banned list, if you had that in your name, you got a survey at the end where it said, you answer these questions. Did you punch anyone at school today? Like weird shit like this. Like, no, this is true. This is legit.
I know.
It's legit.
I tried to forget how ridiculous it was.
Yeah, so, and they had this hypothesis that if you had a toxic name, then you must have some sort of mental condition in real life, and they felt very comfortable looking at this and effectively using it for their own studies. They published the findings of this in conjunction with the University of York, I think it was, in the UK. Anyway, So they also had a hypothesis that if you say something bad in game, then obviously it might spill over into your work. And they started by looking at their own employees. And you can see here, the Riot team hypothesized that there'd be this is under the heading action. The Riot team hypothesized there'd be a correlation between highly toxic in-game play and workplace toxicity. If a rioter received lots of in-game complaints, the team assumed they'd have more friction with workplace teammates too. This is not to say Riot had a problem with workplace toxicity, ranking high on Fortune's 100 best places to work for list. It was quite the opposite, but as a quickly growing company, they were concerned about strengthening and scaling their culture. Now, let's place this into some context, and that is that, yes, it is on the Fortune's 100 best places to work for list. Absolutely. But then again, I reckoned if the cult of Scientology were to be allowed to be on a place to work list, I imagine if you polled all the people there, they'd probably say, actually, yeah, it's fucking great around here, isn't it? I love it in Sea Org. You know what I mean? They'd probably say that because obviously the whole point of being indoctrinated into this is that when you're in something and it becomes a lifestyle and not just a place to work, when it has a culture and it's not just a paycheck, you do feel very involved in it. And of course, we all know they quickly weed people out who aren't a good culture fit. We've talked about interviews and how some people will go through 10 interviews just to make sure they're a cultural fit. And they get asked all these crazy questions like, if you were a brick in a wall, what brick would you be? Like, just mad stuff like that to try and find out whether or not you're actually going to fit in with Riot culture. So when you have a process that weeds anyone out that's unlikely to fit in, and then you couple it with, right, we're just going to check his chat logs in game. Right, well, you called someone a dickhead today, so you're fired. Right, when you combine it with that, obviously you're going to get rid of all the people that don't enjoy working for Riot. Now, if you go on the Glassdoor website and you look at some of the reviews, everybody's the same thing. It's like, yeah, we love it. We love working here, but it takes over your life. That's pretty much what they all say. It takes over your life, or if you don't want to have to work incredibly long hours, maybe this isn't the place for you. If you don't have a strong personality, you won't thrive here. If you don't embody Riot's culture, you won't thrive here. These are the common complaints. These are by people who give it a positive rating. Okay, so I think we can safely glean what kind of company it is to work for. And again, look, I'm not just going to single Riot out on this. Like, I don't want to sound unreasonable. I know a lot of people, obviously, from doing what I've done for this length of time. I know a lot of people who work for game devs companies. Okay, and let me tell you right off the fucking bat, a lot of them are like cults, actually. A lot of tech startups in California are fucking cultish. You know, you hear about people just microdosing LSD every day to improve creativity. You know, I mean, that's a very standard cultish thing to do, to use drugs to kind of wear down resistance to authoritarian figures. Again, you can read about this. There's numerous documents provided about it. And I do find some very interesting parallels between these kind of companies that love culture to be at the forefront and cults. I've always said it. Now, this gets really fucking interesting. You come down and it goes, Riot looked at the preceding 12 months of gameplay of every employee and discovered there was a correlation between in-game and in-Riot toxicity. They determined that 25% of employees who had been let go in the previous year were players with unusually high in-game toxicity. The most common bad behaviors they found were passive aggression, snarky comments, and the use of authoritative language, sometimes using their authority as a Riot employee to intimidate or threaten others. And that's a car alarm.
Yeah.
A Riot are onto us. They're outside, man. So there you go.
There you go.
He's respectable. But so again, you can see here that they're talking about passive aggression, snarky comments as negative behavior. Right? Use of authoritative language, sometimes using their authority as a Riot employee to intimidate or threaten others. I mean, keep in mind, I know from my time when I used to do management courses, we used to have this thing called behavior breeds behavior. Basically, a way of saying, you know, if what comes down from leadership will filter through and permeate through a company. And if we remember Mark Merrill and his approach to the Spectate Faker debacle, where he literally openly attacked somebody that was just streaming using an option that was built into Riot's client, okay? and he called him all these terrible names on social media, leveraged everyone's favorite journalist to basically write positive pieces about how, oh, it's hurting Faker and it's definitely nothing to do with us just wanting dominion over our streaming partners to get revenue and to encourage our partners that work with us to pay us so they can have those streaming rights. Just incredible that they would have the audacity to be like, hey, you know, if you behave badly, it turns out you're an asshole and you deserve to be fired. I mean, it comes obviously from the top down. So I can imagine why rioters would feel authoritative when they were playing games. Because everybody at Riot does seem to have a fucking bit of an attitude, frankly. I've talked about the time I stumbled into Riot at an Intel Extreme Masters event. They were having an after party that was actually put on by an entirely separate company, with my XMG, I think it was. And there was a bunch of rioters there, and it was getting towards the end of the night, and drinks were running out because they never get enough for the thirsty journalists and players and stuff. And they said, oh, there's like 2 bottles of vodka left, so can you start queuing if you want some vodka? And I was queuing up, and these rioters just pushed past. I'm like, don't you know who the fuck we are? We're getting the last of that vodka. We're fucking Riot Games. They're playing our game out there. Fuck you. I was like, well, reasonable people. Reasonable. Sounds reasonable. So, anyway, continues. Riot also found that a player's toxicity was a fluid thing and not immutable. Like moods, toxicity levels can fluctuate. Riot could measure and predict toxicity trajectories of players over time, and so they set about seeing if they can improve the player behavior of their employees. So again, now they're conducting these almost like secret experiments on the employees. The employees at this juncture can't they're not aware that this has happened until they're confronted with it. It's like it's like that show, Intervention, with that guy, the world's longest cry or whatever the fuck it is. We found out you called someone a cunt in game, but I still love you. Yeah, right. And again, what I like about this is it's this acknowledgement, right, which is absolutely fucking right, that toxicity, as they call it, which is just basically having a chops on, just being a bit upset, right, every now and then. They're saying it's not immutable. Well, of course it isn't. It is mood dependent. We've all done it. What people never seem to acknowledge is that sometimes games are catharsis. Sometimes you want to get into a argument while you're playing a game. Sometimes you want to just fucking dominate someone and just fucking spam abuse at them because you've had a tough day at work or whatever. And if you work for a company where even the people who say it's great working here, but you never get to go home, right? Just maybe you're contributing to stress levels. I don't know. Perhaps a bit of self-awareness. What the fuck do I know? Anyway, Riot identified the 30 most toxic employees, all of whom were more junior rioters. They slipped this in. There was definitely junior rioters, even though there's loads of evidence of senior rioters having wrecked people in game and stuff. Of course, all before this experiment. All the links to fucking Pendragon and people like that.
Including Freak as well. I remember watching Freak stream. He'd do that threatening thing every time.
Yeah, of course.
Every time someone threatened a troll, yeah, let's see how your account is in the morning. Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly right. Passive aggressive, which they listed as toxic behavior. But again, it's okay, isn't it? I mean, look, this was basically what this is actually all about here is we had a bunch of people that were working for the company that weren't senior in any way, shape, or form, didn't contribute a lot. So we just wanted to spy on them. So we could just write a fucking paper. That's it. This has got Jeffrey Light Lynn written all over it. I've never seen a guy have so little respect for other people's privacy and such a complex about wanting to fix, behavior in others. Definitely bullied at school, pretty much all of his life. It definitely has a problem. Because there is no way this is acceptable. They've probably signed it in the small print in the contract or whatever. But I can tell you from an HR perspective that when you start basically over monitoring people, it's cause for complaint, frankly. So if you look at somebody constantly, you'll always find something. Right? That's why if you monitor someone disproportionately, it's considered a form of work harassment. And there's been in a lot of these cases where a manager is say, for example, you work in a call center and they listen to all of your calls and then they catch you that one time where someone's a little bit rude and you go, yeah, I can't hear you, dial tone's gone, and you just hang up. And they go, right, got them. I've got them. I'm going to get them fired. Obviously, if you can prove they spent an entire fucking day just disproportionately monitoring your calls, more often than not, a union rep or HR or whatever will just toss that out because it's just yeah, they did it, but what the fuck were you doing with your time? What does it say about the manager? So anyway, it just seems completely ridiculous that this would happen. Anyway, so they identified the 30 most toxic employees and they classified them into two categories. One was where the person needs a stern warning. A stern warning, right? Like, this is it now, you'll get kicked out of Riot. Right? You don't want to get kicked out of Riot. We wear red t-shirts. And we have some very suspicious looking
and sacrifice children. I mean,
yeah. And we have those suspicious looking photos on our website where we're all doing a very weird salute. Right? They do that. Have you seen it? Go to the fucking website. Those photos are creepy, in my opinion. And they say this person should leave Riot because their in-game chat was unusually toxic. So literally, at this juncture, they're saying because your in-game chat was unusually toxic, you're out. That's it. You're fired.
Look at those are the only two categories. Well, either a stern warning or
stern warning or fired. Stern warning or fired. That's it. That is it.
Maybe not call that trundle.
I'd like the third option, which is like, well, the third option is ask ourselves, what the fuck are we doing? There's the third option right there. That should have happened. So anyway, Riot's talent team then scheduled meetings with all these rioters to discuss their in-game behavior. The team brought with them in-game chat logs where that rioter was especially bad behavior. While these logs did factor into the exits of a couple of employees who'd already had serious problems, the response from almost everyone else was overwhelmingly positive. Pretty much everyone we spoke with was appalled at their own behavior. We actually received some essays from employees vowing to change their ways and become not just more considerate gamers, but better people, said J. Moldenhauer Salazar, Riot's head of talent. Now think about this. Right? Think about this. What does this sound like? You ever laughed at them like Reddit mods, for example, where they're like, "Oh, hey, if you want to get unbanned from the forums, you got to write a little fucking essay saying why you shouldn't use this controlled list of words." That's what that sounds like, right? It's just ridiculous, disproportionate. People wrote essays to their employees. Let me tell you what that is. That's fucking desperation. That's people not wanting to get fired. And again, even if it isn't, even if it has made someone take stock of what's going on in their life, what is this obsession with wanting to make people better? Not to be better yourself, okay? Not to say change starts with me, right? Which is, look, this is how you make the world a better place, all right? You make the world a better place by behaving well yourself. And you hope that it carries forward. That's really all you can do. And in fact, at the heart of the argument to not be toxic in game and not abuse people, which Riot themselves use, they always say you cannot control others. It's about you. All you can do is control your own behavior. Unless you're Riot Games. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the fact that we've got fucking control over somebody's finances to basically bring them in and strong arm them and say, yep. And then to have the goal to publish the results publicly. And then, of course, there's a pithy little conclusion. And it's ridiculous. And quite scary again, because I'll read the whole thing. It's scary. It's classic Riot scary. Like when you hear about Riot saying we do all this stuff and we're visiting schools and telling schools about how our behavior matrices work. Says here, Riot is a quickly growing company with managers eager to fill seats, but the organization wants to make sure they don't make any bad hires. Well, after you've made a hire, all right, I think it's a bit fucked up to then retroactively look at stuff outside of the workplace to try and figure out whether or not you've made a bad hire. It seems a bit weird to me. The team is now trying to figure out how to use this in-game information as a signal during the hiring process. Riot asks applicants for their in-game handle during the application process so they can review their gameplay and identify any toxic chats and behaviors. Riot is experimenting with displaying this information in their applicant tracking system using a simple stoplight code, red, yellow, green. For any applicant flagged red, the most toxic, there are sample chat logs so a recruiter or hiring manager can see how an applicant conducts themselves in the very product they're hoping to work on. While Riot researchers started by delving into the nasty negative end of the gameplay spectrum, they're now collaborating with researchers at MIT on a collective intelligence study to see what type of personalities compose a great team. They're hoping to come up with an understanding of the personalities that make the best team composition and how they can proactively create high-performing, positive teams. And there's a bunch of comments underneath where everyone's like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, people... I mean, at least people in a working environment have an understanding that that ain't okay. That's not fucking okay. That is not normal. That is not how you want to fucking behave yourself. That's unfucking real, dog. Like, just think about it. How long, I mean, look, I've been talking about employers having like crazy levels of power, like just in general. Like, you hear about employers fucking what? Looking at your Facebook. Oh, well, he's having a can of spesh. He's drinking a can of spesh on that bench. Not hiring him, can't trust him. Oh, there's a photo of him wrecked in a nightclub, gurning his face off. Yeah, we can't hire him. You know, he's nude in that photo.
The thing is, though, at least that's dodgeable. At least you can make your shit private. This is no escape.
Well, yeah, I guess. If you've ever played League.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And keep in mind as well, it becomes especially creepy when I'm pretty sure they don't hire anyone who's never played League of Legends.
Yeah, which is weird as fuck.
Yeah, innit?
Considering, like, there's a bunch of just, like, coding job and server technician guys.
Yeah, like,
why
I
the
don't...
fuck have I got to play League?
Yeah. Okay, well, you've got all the credentials here. In fact, it seems that you're an absolute tech wizard and borderline genius. Just one quick question, yeah? Do you play under the name I am a mess 42? You know? Oh, that's you, is it? Well, yeah, if you just look at this chat log, you said someone was an idiot. So, sorry.
See ya.
Can't hire you, I'm afraid. We don't want to make bad hires. But this person over here who virtue fucking signals on Twitter, definitely not talking about Daniel Z. Klein. They're a suitable employee, even though they've said people who believe in a consumer-based movement deserve to be burned to death. We like them. We like those people. They're great. He right now is arguing with Notch, the guy behind Minecraft. I was arguing with him on Twitter for a bunch of nonsense reasons. That's a good look for the company, isn't it? I bet he's nice in game though. That's what I mean. It's the absurdity of it all. It's just the absurdity of it all. So very, very surprised that this didn't blow up. But then again, when you control all the means of discourse about your product, obviously no one's gonna get to talk about it. So that's how it works. Great job again, Riot. But I just had to talk about that because I think that's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard for a while. Now, let me see. Where should we go to next?
Do you want to keep it League or do you want to split it up?
Could
go for the old Mark Merrill blog post, mate.
No, because like I don't know if I want to mention that anyway, because it's just Mark Merrill, isn't it? It's not even worth talking about. Like he's just lost it all. He's wrecked. So, what do you want to talk about? Dreamhack.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Right. So, just want to say and I'll give a very specific disclaimer just before we play some clips. But also, this will contain, not because me and Sam revel in it or anything like that, and we wouldn't use the words ourselves, but this period will contain some racist language. If you have a delicate disposition, certainly I'd say fast forward for the next 20 minutes, or maybe don't watch the show and never watch it again, actually, like whatever it takes to insulate you from that. Because I want to be responsible about it. Obviously, there was a DreamHack event. And I just want to say, like, I know people are going to say, "Oh, this is you're salty as fuck." You are salty as fuck because Dreamhack publicly said they refused to hire you again over the Lord thing. I'll tell you, I've been treated so well at E-League and I had such a good time. I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to living that way. You know, I couldn't do an event where I have
back to the slums once you're in the mansion, mate.
Well, no, but it's not even that, right? I mean, the disparity is just unbelievable to the point where E-League have even remarked, the people at Turner have even remarked how like down to earth everybody is in esports, because the things they consider normal for talent just don't happen in esports, and nobody has embodied this more than Dreamhack. Nobody has really embodied how little talent matter to them than Dreamhack. Say what you will about ESL. I'll tell you, they do look after the talent when you go to an ESL event. They might not have the same level of resources as somebody like Turner, but you get fed, but you get watered. You have an area where you can sit uninterrupted. And it's just like this lack of concern that DreamHack have. Like I say, in inclusion of poker, to have to literally fight to get bottles of water for 2 days is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I've said it for a while, and people think that I'm exaggerating or that I'm making it up because of what subsequently happened in our relationship with DreamHack. But there was already stuff going on at that time. We were already, as talent, at breaking point. There was a lot of people talking about not doing a DreamHack event again after Cluj. There was a lot of talk going on with DreamHack management. And they swore they'd improve, and obviously, it just didn't improve. And in particular, when it did slightly improve for the Counter-Strike guys, it was at the expense of other talent in other games, which makes you feel like an asshole. I worked in StarCraft. I don't want to have to see people like Apollo sat on a fucking staircase, sat behind the stage because he doesn't have a green room to sit in. I don't want to see people like Smix, who've been instrumental in DreamHack's success, literally not being able to get food all day, and they don't have a runner and no one's looking after them. I don't want to see shit like that, because I have to work with those people. And when you're over here getting the things they're not, it just makes you feel like a piece of shit. So I didn't want to see that, but I had to see that. Now, so anyway, just so people know, it's definitely not about being salty about the load thing. Don't really care. That's played out the way it's played out now. There's no way of changing the narrative, barring doing something absolutely crazy. And I think most people that follow my work and know me can see through all that bullshit, can see it for what it is. But there's no doubt this DreamHack was a shambles. It's really gone to the dogs, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't link the two things and I have to turn them off because they're cringe. Like some of the things you're going to show now, I couldn't even watch.
Well, obviously we can start by talking about the cosplay event. Now, I mean, cosplay, I don't know about you, dude. Like, I don't get fucking cosplay. I'll just put that out there.
I get it. It's a creative sort of outlet. I think it's that crazy to understand.
I think making a costume is a creative outlet. Absolutely, I can see that. I've got a lot of respect for people that can do wonderful tailoring or making dresses or whatever. Absolutely. And even if you made a costume so somebody could wear it for a Halloween party, for example. Yeah, all right, cool. I do like that. What if I just find the cosplay scene a bit weird and a bit creepy, actually, a lot of the time. Like, I've seen those signs that have to go up at events.
Oh,
where,
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. No groping and
shit. Do not
need to be reminded.
Yeah, but do they need to be reminded? I don't know. I mean, if that, like, I'm a big believer in, if there's a sign, it's probably for a reason, right?
Yeah, I remember, I think, was it Comic-Con? They did do it because literally too many people were groping. Like, that needed to be reminded.
It's fucked up, right? It's like, when you see, I don't know, signs next to wishing wells, and it says, don't throw money in pond or whatever, Who does that? Who actually does that? Who's like goes up to like a pool of water and just throws money in it? Who does that? Who fucking does that? Just think, throw my money in the pond. Who does that, mate? Do you know what I mean?
When did that even become a thing? Like, just chuck my money away. That'll make things better.
No idea, mate. No idea. It's worse, actually. I'm talking about throwing money in the pond. Obviously, where we grew up, there'd be sign, do not take money out the wishing well. I'm pretty sure I've done that at some point. So
I think I've reached that though.
Rough childhood.
Never seen one.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have running water where you Gurnos, mate. So
the mountain people.
Yeah, they've come down. The Croiseru. They've come down from the site for a dance in the Four Winds.
Nobody knows what that means.
They just want to be left. They can Google it. They can Google all of this shit, mate. But anyway, so cosplay, it always struck me as a bit weird and a bit creepy. And I've seen a lot of people. I've even seen some fucking talent that are a bit fucking weird and creepy about it. Like taking photos and like, hover handing. Like, just let these people, just leave these fucking people alone. Do you know what I mean? Leave these people alone. But the other thing, unfortunately, is you've got this degree in cosplay, right? And that is like the people who are really, really good at fucking cosplay have these wonderful, like fucking really intricate outfits, right? And you're like, fucking hell, and they're in shape and you look fucking good, you know. And you can see like it's where like fashion, the world of fashion, not fashion, but the world of fashion and kind of gaming intersect, and it makes sense. You know, you come out, yeah, shit, that's that one from StarCraft, you know, brilliant, right? But then you just have these other people who they've got problems, haven't they? And what they've done is, you know, they have the
You're triggering so many people.
no,
Trigglypuff.
just hear me out. Right? I haven't even finished. Like, I haven't even finished. You don't even know where I'm going with this. And they think they've made a costume, okay? But what they've really done is they've just stuck some sponge to their head, right? Painted themselves blue, and said they're like Malzahar or something.
That
You know what
reminds me, right? I don't know if this was ever in your time.
yeah,
But
go
in
on.
my school, we had a thing called World Book Day, right? And basically, once a year, you'd go in for World Book Day and you dress up, right? And the winner won a load of book tokens, right? It was trying to teach encourage kids to read. So one year, right? I wanted to go. I wanted to go Spongebob, right? And I shit you not, right? I shit you not. Massive cardboard box, right? Massive cardboard box covered in dish sponges and painted yellow, but one like fuck on the night, one those book tokens, boy.
No way, man.
I swear to God.
Oh, have you got a photo of that?
Oh, somewhere, like, I'll have to try and dig it out.
Oh.
But massive cardboard box, covered in dish sponges, couple of eyes slapped on, and then they announce the winner at assembly in the morning. Everyone's sitting there, and they like little wizards out meeting, just a massive box. Me with my arms crossed, just, I got a shit nailed, homies. Like, I already know what books I'm getting, like.
God, Lord. You see, that's what I'm
Wrecked them
talking
all.
about. That's
Won them all.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Won those 30 quid worth of book tokens, boys.
Yeah, but a lifetime of regret. Yeah. I
buried that memory deep, like, I can't believe I just dug out of nowhere. Fucking just covered in dish sponges. Literally about 200 dish sponges. Not the little ones with, like, the Brillo pad on one side and the sponge on the other. Like, a good 200 of those, like, on a massive cup. I didn't even tell the best part. I had to walk to school in the street. Just walking the street, holding hands with my mum, massive cardboard box painted yellow, covered in sponge.
Oh, fucking hell.
Got all the cars driving past me.
This illustrates what I'm talking about. You did make a costume. You did make a fucking
I made a
costume.
box, mate.
You just stuck sponges on a box. You've got no place in a competition. Like, don't know how the fuck you won, mate. They must have took pictures or something. You're like, oh, nah.
Mate, if a monk shows up to school with covered in a box full of sponge, like, gotta give it to him now.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, I think he's obviously had a bit of help from his parents as well. You know what I mean?
Cheated.
You probably needed that 30 quid back for the sponge you fucking had on you.
Oh yeah, it was a good 60 quid worth of dish sponges, like.
Oh, you know. Right, back in the room. So anyway, point is, right, that isn't that isn't cosplay though, is it?
Yeah.
That's just bad. So what I'm, you know, those people are fine. I don't care if you want to, you know, do that or whatever, right? But there's a time and a place, and it's not in public, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not in public. Like, think about you saying like how you just walked to school like that. You should have been put in care, like
he was only a few streets away. So like,
yeah, exactly. But if I'd seen a kid walking to school like that, I'd have to get involved. I'd have to call the authorities.
I was only like 9 at the time as well, so like, and the cardboard box was legit massive, like about 3 times the size of me. Couldn't see, like, I have to be directed in between cars, make sure I don't die on the way.
You got to get involved. Like, you got to, you know, it's a responsible adult. You can't let the kids just, you know, you can't let them live that way. So anyway,
try and find a picture of that. Like.
So cosplay is all, yeah, please do. Like, cosplay is always a bit weird to me anyway, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who enjoy it or whatever. And yeah, like, they're having a laugh, they're having fun. You know, you get those moments like that Renekton fucking talking to Rachel Quirico. I'm French, I'm French. It's all fun and games, you know, we've all a good time. But anyway, There was this one at Dreamhack, this cosplay event, and I don't know if it's worth playing any of it because I didn't pick anything out that was particularly cringe. I don't know if you did.
Like I said, I didn't really watch it because it was pretty cringe. But there is
Yeah.
some stuff that was like,
I mean, if you can play it in the background while I'm just talking.
will do.
I mean, obviously the cringe comes from the interactions, but basically, the host was kind of making a series of jokes. There was also a bit that seemed to trigger people where they were talking to two female cosplayers and asking if they would, pretend to kiss and stuff. And apparently that was all prearranged anyway. People complained about it and said it was inappropriate, but actually the cosplayers themselves had prearranged that. But generally, the whole thing seemed to be a little bit, the hostess was a bit rude. People didn't seem to like it very much. Anyway, this made quite a few waves. People were taking this video and they actually put it up on, I think it went to the Cringe subreddit as well as the front page of the League of Legends subreddit. And somebody took all the worst bits and made it into a highlight video, saying the most cringe cosplay competition of all time, it was called. And it got fucking put up, made public, and Dreamhack issued a DMCA takedown. They issued a copyright claim on the grounds that it wasn't fair use, right? And the video got removed. It got DMCA'd. They were that embarrassed by what had happened. It got DMCA'd. Now, people started to notice this. I tweeted about it. And all of a sudden, it was the user has removed this video and it's not DMCA'd. We got some fucking screenshots and shit. A few other people did. And you can see Reddit comments where people have said, hey, this has been DMCA'd. So, DreamHack did issue a copyright takedown. And I just thought, like, fucking hell. I remember when DreamHack used to be, like, just this fun event where just, like, they just didn't care. They were just like, fuck you, If you want to fucking laugh at what we do or we do anything a bit ropey, we just stand by it. We never respond to stuff. We just kill a story with silence. That was just their whole ethos. And then to basically use copyright law to get something took down that makes you look a bit foolish and a bit disorganized, just really, really stupid. So that in itself seemed to like bug me a little bit, that this is the direction they're going in these days. And then just one of the most ill-advised things I've ever seen. So I'm going to preface this. People may remember, and we talked about this on a previous Richard Lewis show, where one of the Hearthstone players, Terrence M., but if I remember his name right, you're more into Hearthstone than me, but he received a lot of racially charged abuse on Twitch chat during his run at a DreamHack event. And obviously, guys can use your imagination, but you can go out and find the story on PC Gamer or just watch my last podcast where we talked about it. And, it is awful. It's awful. In the idea that fucking black people, which are underrepresented in esports, in my opinion, considering the amount of black gamers I know, makes me really appalled. And, I don't like that. If I caught somebody doing that on my Twitch chat, I'd ban him without hesitation. It's not what I want to see.
And we have.
And absolutely, and we brought it up on Trash Talk as well. When people have been transphobic, it's just not my jam. I'm just not into that shit. The only people I dislike are arseholes, and they come in all fucking shapes, sizes, and colors. Right? It's just that simple. Anyway, basically the upshot of that was Mike Morhaime from Blizzard and a few other people from Blizzard basically said they wanted greater security to ensure that during future Hearthstone events there wouldn't be any racial abuse, that you now had an obligation if you had a Hearthstone event at your tournament, at your series of tournaments, at your event, you had to make sure that your Twitch channel was moderated and you applicably punish people. And they also said they were in talks with Twitch to strategize moving forward appropriate punishments, perhaps even extending those punishments to Blizzard, which I was a bit iffy about. I think if you make a transgression on Twitch, by all means ban you on Twitch. I think when you start overreaching, I don't like that. I don't think repercussions... if you do, it's like there's a common theme with all of this, like with the Riot stuff. I don't think something you do in game should have repercussions in something you do in work. I think we need to create some more definitions, not actually blur the boundaries. But anyway, so I know from speaking to people that there was actually a warning issued, right? Like basically, Blizzard said to DreamHack, "This isn't cool. Like if this sort of thing happens again, we're going to have to revise whether or not we want you to be running these competitions, because we don't want players to feel isolated. We don't want players to feel that they're going to get racially abused when they play. And that's fucking admirable, actually. And I fully support Blizzard for doing that. That's fucking the right way to go about things. If you go to a tournament, there's a duty of care there. You should be in a safe environment. I'm not talking about safe spaces and no, spare me from criticism. I'm talking about if a black person enters your fucking tournament, they shouldn't be fucking racially abused. It's just that fucking simple. And if you cannot guarantee that, you shouldn't be running fucking tournaments. And I know, yeah, okay, oh, it's Twitch chat, blah, 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 blah. They didn't even have a fucking banned list of words that seem to catch half of these racially charged insults. Certainly didn't have an active moderation team. One of the first things we talked about at E-League when the Twitch channel up, we were like, how do we get this actively moderated? How do we make sure that, it's not a bad look for esports, it's not a bad look for our competitors, it's not a bad look for Counter-Strike fans that want to get into the game and want to watch on Twitch. Let's say somebody on TV who watches TBS the TBS broadcast on Friday thinks, I'll start watching it on Twitch, actually, I'm really into this. And they fucking experience Twitch chat for the first time. It's going to be bad enough, right? But if there's all racial abuse in there's nothing more divisive and disgusting than that sort of thing. So anyway, with all of that said, I would have thought Dreamhack would have been just a bit more savvy about what to do. But they agreed to have the popular streamer and YouTuber Soda Poppin on the main stage at Dreamhack. Now, if you want to play the first clip, and again, I prepare you, you will hear some racial language, some racist language in this, which we do not endorse. Yeah, the one just below the cosplay link. So again, me and Sam absolutely do not endorse this. We think it's disgusting. We don't think it's funny. But we want to play it uncensored so you can hear it for yourselves. And as I said, if you don't like hearing that kind of thing, just tune the fuck out now and mute it.
You think you do.
My mods are so
Hey guys,
stupid.
Dreamhack, hey guys.
Oh my god. Moderators, please. Oh my god.
Open the doors, open your mind. Open the doors, open your mind.
Right, thank you for that, Sam. So, as you can see, I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, obviously, there's an argument to say, oh, well, Soda Poppin can't control it. I'm pretty sure as a fucking streamer and full-time personality of that nature, pretty sure he knows what's going to be coming when you do something like that. And they had him here on the main stage with an audience gathered around. Again, I don't really understand the concept, Sam. I'll be honest. I don't know why anybody would want to see a popular streamer opening CS Go boxes.
I don't know, man.
In person. I mean, I don't understand it on stream, and I've done it between matches and stuff, but I've never, I don't see the attraction. But to go and watch it on stage, but it could be generational, mate. And I'm willing to accept that. Like,
and each for their own.
Yeah, and each to their own.
If other people like it, crack up.
Each to their own. But here's the thing, like, and I think it's best illustrated here, actually. So there was another one I linked you to. Let me just find it for you.
The other odd shot, yeah?
Yeah, the other Soda Poppin odd shot.
I got it.
So, have you got it?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? Okay, cool. So if you can get that one up. I'm not sure if I linked it to you. It's the one that's really loud.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so again...
Okay.
You think you
How
do,
do I order this to
but
like
you don't.
so I get to see the cases? Ah! Come on,
you
dude,
do,
stop.
but you
You
don't.
can't be God.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Type of the chat, Alex is a stupid nigger.
God
You
dang
think you do,
it!
but you don't.
God! Duh!
You think you do, but you don't.
Right, so anyway, so again, you can see that this didn't just happen once. It happened multiple times. We got the N-word there. We got fucking Allah Akbar being screamed. That's a really fucking, it's an inflammatory time to be doing it. And you're doing it in a country, actually, where it's not like there's no Muslim population in Sweden. It's not like a large portion of the, well, not a large portion, but I would argue there will certainly have been a representation of Muslims in that crowd. And here's the thing, the almost smirking nature of it all while it's happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, oh, bloody hell, I've only gone and let it slip. Like, you're hovering over the button, right? Once it's happened once or twice, you just got to say, look, fuck,
just turn it off.
Shut it down. We're shutting down that feature, and we're just going to carry on with the stream and actually entertain your viewers. But instead, you can just see the smirking, sneering, like laughing under your breath almost at it. Jeez, guys. Jeez, did you do that thing again? It's just like, come on, like that's really fucking bad. That might not even be Dreamhack's fault, right? But it happens on your watch, your event, your crowd. And again, it just shows that lack of fucking awareness, that lack of savvy, that you're so desperate for like clicks, hits, popularity, whatever it is, you're going to come up with a very ill-conceived idea that is going to fucking backfire. Of course it does. And at a time when, you know, you're saying we're going to do better our events and stamp out that racist bullshit. And it's just fucked up. It's really fucked up. I would hate it if anybody who was watching that had a Dreamhack, and I've been to a lot of Dreamhacks, right? I used to love going to Dreamhacks when I could go. The Dreamhack Winter and the Dreamhack Summers, particularly the Winter, they were fucking amazing events. It was all about the community. It wasn't even necessarily, but the tournaments were almost like a sideline, and I didn't mind that because it was this huge gaming event that people went to from all over the world, and it was just awesome, right? And now I think, you know, they've done some things where it's just like, I think they don't even really care about the community anymore, let alone the tournaments and the esports side of things. Like that to me, while people, I don't know, maybe some people enjoyed it, you can hear some people laughing in the background. Obviously, some people might not take that as seriously as others. But what I would hear is for somebody that's like gone to this event that's touted as like the mecca of gaming, the largest LAN party in the world, and to go there and to hear that, just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, so it doesn't even end there. I mean, there were a few fuck-ups during the CS tournament as well. You can probably play this Smix clip, I think illustrates it. It was like the fucking Oscars, mate. She's in the middle of an interview, okay? And I think she's really come on leaps and bounds with the CS knowledge. I think she's been doing some great interviews. And she's doing an interview with Astralis, talking about a very crucial thing, how they're going to do in the tournament. Let's just play some music over that, mate.
And of course, in the rest of the teams in your group, we have a sort of slumping Immortals as well as an SK that doesn't have the two players that they usually play with. So because of that, I can't help but feel like you guys must feel very confident headed forward.
Of course we're confident, but we haven't proved enough yet to underestimate our opponents. So we just gotta slowly...
Jesus, my ears.
Just gonna show that we're...
Yeah, sorry, I should have warned you about that, man. Should have warned you about that. We should have kept some of them sponges from the fucking kid, man. Get them on your goals. Get them on your goals. So again, you can see there, like that's just fucking amateur hour, isn't it? Like it's just like when an Oscar speech has just gone on for too long. And I just like to thank like, come on, like what the fuck? And then if you hit the link below it, it didn't just stop to sound. This is fucking unbelievable. This is during, you know, an important match, right? Like, you know, obviously they're all important in their own way. And they have like this is fucking cataclysmic fuck up. I just couldn't believe this either. And that's what I mean. This isn't just like one or two things, right? This is like, you know,
the shadows.
This is happening all the time.
The observers, you just dropped the keyboard, or what's happening? On VT, let's have a look at the graph chart, mate. All right, let's go.
Let's take some screenshots. T-tours.
Bomb plant. Draken comes down. Misses the no-scope. He's asking a lot of lands. The second one, however. Bondic in the new Toxic. Of course, this is a different angle as a window as well. Hello.
What?
I'm throwing it out there.
I know what's happening right now.
Did you just leave?
Draken's busting his way down.
I don't really watch that.
Just add enough for this, like, you know?
He's full on, just press exit, disc.
Just having enough of that, like.
Yeah. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, Right?
American
So,
sausage way down
and
in
again, this is just
Dragon
stuff that
Smoke.
just happened, like, just repeatedly over the course of the tournament. People will remember on the first day of the Counter-Strike tournament, people will complain about sound issues, lighting issues, and all of it just reeked of being, like, cobbled together, low budget, not really having that spit and polish, not really caring about that product. You know, you don't have to go too far back before PGL kind of set the bar again, and then MLG set it again. It was Dreamhack that was setting that bar. Everyone was looking over at Dreamhack and going, wow, their production value is fucking great. They can't run an event on time, but their fucking polish is so... And now it's just like they just straight don't give a fuck anymore. And these are just examples of that. But I've saved the best to fucking last, bro. I've saved the best to last. Now, this is about a 2-minute clip. It's the one called Team Fortress TV. Just open it up from where it is and just play this out. Just watch aghast. This is unfucking believable. Come on, Spongebob.
Gentlemen, we have a very interesting situation. We've never had a situation like this, ever. In fact, I don't think anyone's ever had a situation like this, ever. It's very interesting.
Hey, mate, you gotta go. It's time to go.
It's time to go. It is indeed time to go. Both of the teams are tied at 2 maps apiece after the 4 maps of the best of 5. It's gone on for so long. We had so many golden caps that we've exceeded the schedule, gone miles over it, even of the allowed time that Dreamhack gave us extra. And we have 1 minute to leave the venue before we literally are all killed by the Dreamhack security. And so the teams have 2 options. They can either play it online at a later date, or they can call a draw and split the prize money, or a heavy fist fight, but they decided not to do that one. Much to Twitch chat's dismay, I'm sure. But unfortunately, one of the problems of not actually being in the official rotation of Dreamhack or something like that is that we're bound by the exhibition hall's time rules. So unfortunately, we are going to have to end the stream there. This is not a troll, I swear to God. But so the teams are going to decide at a later date whether or not to draw and split the prize pool or play it online. We'll keep you updated on that. Check TFTV. This is ridiculous. We could go for a real fist fight as well. We could do that afterwards as well. There's a car park out there, but who knows? We'll probably stream on YouTube it or something, but we'll catch you later on Team Fortress TV. What a tournament.
So that's how a tournament ends, mate. That's how your team, like Team Fortress, obviously, Team Fortress 2, having a bit of a strugs, you know what I mean? But they've got a pretty fucking loyal community, right? Yeah. And, you know, it's great that there's esports tournaments still out there for them. And they've been, you know, and obviously they always go out and support the people that support them. But what do? We're gonna schedule something so badly, it's impossible to finish the tournament at the event. Now, in all my years of going to esports events, right, that's happened once. To me,
I remember that story. I think.
Yeah, it was at which one was it? The SGL Summer Slam, SGL Summer Slammer.
It's just one in the tent.
Oh no! That did finish. It just finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was where some guy on pills climbed up and
yeah.
Power cable.
Yeah.
because we were in the middle of a rave. That was a Call of Duty 4 event in Denmark during the Robot Festival, I think it was. But anyway, there was that's a story for another day. I'll save that one. But no. This was the SGL. It used to be a UK online league called SGL. What was it called? Suicidal Gaming League, I think it was called. Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
Bit dark.
Probably wouldn't have succeeded in the current climate, but that's what it was called back in the day. And anyway, they used to run LAN events, and the biggest one they did at Amiga Sector, I think it was in Birmingham, and they hired it out and they ran the event, and it didn't get finished. There were so many tech problems and delayed. It just didn't get fucking finished. They had to finish the LAN finals, or indeed semi-final, I think, online. So that's how that works. So it's happened once before that I can think of. But you have to go back to the dark old days of esports. It shouldn't be happening in a fucking Dreamhack. That's unbelievable. So it just makes me wonder what else has been going on that I haven't caught. This is just stuff people have sent me. Like, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? But, like, this is all one event. And it's one of the biggest, theoretically, on the annual calendar. What the fuck is going on? I'm asking. You.
I don't fucking know, mate.
Come on, SpongeBob.
The only thing I got to add to this conversation is, no, that guy talking, we noticed the guy behind him with a massive egghead on the SD and he's pointing. I like to think he's the one kicking him out. Just pointing, get the fuck out of my hole.
Probably is. Probably
Fucking
is.
hell. Ooh,
So
weird person they hide instead of Robert Olin, mates. Just Mr. Egghead. Get out
I know,
of my
innit?
hole.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Robert Olin there? None of this would have happened on his watch.
Yeah, it's weird how the timings line up with how Dreamhack changed, isn't it?
Yeah, go figure, isn't it? You know, I mean, like, say what you will about Robert, he might not have been a hard worker. Bless him. He might have partied more than he worked, but great ambassador for the company, and he had a fucking eye for detail. So if someone like that went down, he'd have found a way to make it work out. That's just how he was. And yeah, it fucking sucks, man. It really does. That he got fucking backstabbed out at the company. It hasn't been the same since, honestly. And yeah, I just think it's just a fucking shame, you know. Great event, really gone to seed. And again, you're issuing DMCA takedowns on shit. You're obviously aware of the problems. Where's the public statements about any of this stuff? You know, nah, not happening. Where's the
doing the killer with silence, but at the same time wrecking everyone who talks about it?
Yeah,
you both, mate.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you kill it with silence, but you let everyone else talk about it. That's the whole way it works. You don't try and Streisand the shit out of it. The soda popping thing, it fucking merits a public apology, in my opinion, from someone. But that's just me. You know, I'm old fashioned, right? I mean, you know, fucking, if that had happened, I mean, imagine if we were doing a live show and your trash talk and shit like that had gone on. Like someone played that shit down while we were doing a show. I'd be crucified, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I've got no control over that. But anyway, whatever. So let's take one more step into just general stuff, and then we can end on some Counter-Strike bits and pieces. Did you see this about Twitch? Twitch got mad puritanical from nowhere.
Yeah.
Like literally, I don't know.
Steady decline, mate.
No, but come on, like, this is borderline, like, them Victorian fuckers who were like, that table leg is arousing me. Cover it with Heskin. You're just giving me impure thoughts. Wear a bathing costume that covers you from head to toe. This is the devil's thoughts. It's unreal, isn't it? Like, how fucking regressive is this shit? So, for those that didn't see it, you can read a report at the Daily Dot. One of my ex-colleagues, Callum Leslie, who's a Hearthstone guy, primarily, but he does cover some general streaming stuff. And we don't always agree. I think politically we're on opposite ends of the spectrum in a lot of ways. But even he really saw this as being odd. And basically what happened was Twitch started removing emotes that people can use in their channels, and specifically any emote that contained the word but, or there was a few others. I think there was a P, or might even have been a piss. I don't know. But anything they said, and this is where it gets really weird, anything they said was sexually suggestive. It had gone. So just so, if I don't know if you, maybe some people have never had a Twitch channel, but obviously when you get enough subscribers and you're partnered, you can have these little emotes, you know, and it's just little stuff that your users can spam when they're on Twitch if they sub to you. It's a inducement, it's a bonus for people that support your work, and you can pick ones that are very specific to you, so they can wear that like a badge when they go to other channels and say, hey, this look, I'm a Richard Lewis fan. Look, there's his bald head, right? You know, and they can spam it in chat, right? So on top of the default ones that people use, like Kappa and stuff like that. So there was one which was just weird. So there was I'll give you a couple of examples from the report. Actually, there was Jen Owens, right? Jen Owens, and she had one called Jen Booty, right? And what it was a dog from behind.
Lex for a ring piece, man.
Yeah, but
no, I'm just saying that's what it is. Just make sure people know how minimalist it is. Isn't it?
I mean,
designed
I looked at it. I think you can barely see the ring piece, actually. So no, just
ring piece.
Yeah, listen, I just want to go on the record and say that the ring piece didn't jump out at me.
Minimal ring piece.
I looked at that and I didn't think ring piece. So maybe I should. Maybe my eyesight's not very good. I don't have to wear these big specs. But anyway, So if you can we actually bring up the picture of it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Right. So that is sexually suggestive, and that it can't be, not unless you want to have sex with a dog, which I don't. I just
Yeah, me neither, but
do you know what I mean? The implication is we're removing that
everyone
sexually
loves
suggestive.
bestiality.
Yeah, like, well, what do you mean? How is this sexually suggestive? Like, if I look at a dog's ring piece, the last thing on my mind is, well,
That's a nice ring piece.
Yeah, fucking love that. Love that. Bet it's riddled with worms. Oh. Do you know what I mean?
I'd fired it, morning.
Yeah, who's doing that though? Who's doing that? So why did Twitch think there's anyone out there that needs protecting from thoughts that they don't have? No one's looking at that going, fucking hell, I hope no one sees that arsehole. Do you know what I mean? No one's saying that.
That 3 pixel wide.
Yeah, it's
cross.
3 pixels wide and it's an X. It's not even a starfish. They haven't even got that level of detail. So it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. And then there was this one. Okay, well, rest in peace, Lyric Piss, and that was of course by Lyric, the streamer, L-I-R-I-K, and it's a sad looking cat in a kitty litter thing, and there's a tiny little bit of yellow coming out the back of it. I presume it's doing what cats do and has a piss in the litter tray. Now, again, I don't know if Twitch are aware of this, but a lot of people have cats as pets, and quite a popular pet, I'm led to believe. And they do like to have a piss now and then in litter trays. Sometimes they'll even do a bit of a steaming poo. And if you've ever, the one thing I'll say about cats is it's actually quite amazing that they'll eat something that's really small. Apparently they have really small stomachs, but they'll produce a turd that's the size of a man's fist with alarming regularity. Now I've seen these things in real life, having had cats in the past, and definitely not sexual. I'll go on the record there. Definitely not sexual, and definitely not harmful. I don't feel wrecked, like mentally, for having seen these things in real life. So I'm aware that cats need to urinate, and I'm sure actually most children are aware of the acts of not just animal urination and defecation, but humans. Don't they get that book when they're a kid? Everybody poops. Doesn't that? Did you ever get that between sponges?
No, but I learned somehow, mate. Somehow got through that.
So it's very strange to me that this is a level of not of censorship. It's a very overused word, and it doesn't really appropriately fit the situation. But I don't understand who is being protected by this, given that the average age of the person would have to be so low to be like even amused by that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let alone offended, let alone traumatized. So very bizarre. And then there was someone else saying, "What happened to my corgi's butt?" Then they actually got the cat back by making it look like it was stood in a pool of water instead of urine.
There you go.
So the story has a happy
Lyric
end.
pool.
But it just seems very bizarre, you know? Like, I can understand maybe a few arguments about dress code and whatever. But, yeah, I thought this was really odd. I have no idea where it's come from. But
No
I can't
public statement either, which is weird.
Yeah, they just changed it and changed the terms and conditions as to what you can use in partnership emotes. In fact, actually, there was another thread. You can probably bring it up. It's not necessary. We'll only talk about it briefly. And that was that they even removed single letter emotes, so people could spell rude words. So, for example, I could have FUCK as individual emotes, and you could spell fuck with it. So I don't know why I added that bit. It should be obvious, but whatever. And you can't have single letter emotes now. So you can't even literally have a letter from the alphabet as an emote. It just seems like come on, dudes. Like there's no cause for that, is there? There's no cause for that. There's no real benefit of that. Or is there?
I don't think so, mate. I think it's just mad overreach for no reason. The thing is, I don't even see it as like an aggressive overreach. You know what I mean? It feels just a little.
It's just
misguided.
It's just childish. Like it's almost, it's kind of insulting to the audience and the people that use Twitch. You know, and meanwhile, we're watching streams like the stream we watched last night, where Sinterbell. I wasn't going to name it, but all right, great. That's us banned for bullying now. Right? Anyway, like nothing against Sinterbell. I think her stream's amusing and whatever else, and certainly she shouldn't be singled out. But it was Sinterbell that we watched, and she's come in. It's 4 a.m. She's wrecked. She's had a good night out on the sauce, as we all do as adults. She's old enough to drink. Nothing wrong there. And she's streaming, and she was very, very drunk and not really capable of playing, and not really capable of talking, actually, as it happened. But she had a good go. And it was funny. It was funny and amusing, and I look again. I wouldn't want Twitch to get involved in that, but sometimes the priorities do seem a little bit off. Like, I don't get offended by this idea of Twitch being like you see all these like angry nerds like talking about all these cam girls on Twitch. It's like, look, I don't care. Like, if she wants to show off cleavage, fine. Like, I'm not puritanical about it at all, and I think people who get upset about that are really speaking to their own issues. People should be able to dress what they want. I didn't support the Twitch dress code when they brought it in either, frankly. I think nudity, absolutely, because that's regulated. And there's other services for that, Sam. I don't know if you're aware, but there are other services where you can see people naked if you want.
I'm reminded, mate.
Yep, good, excellent. There you go. You've had a live
Jasmine conversation.
You've had a live Jasmine pop up. So obviously that's fine if Twitch doesn't want to be about that. That's fine. But I think once we start getting into this area of like, okay, this is a dog's bottom. Which is like, literally, have you read Roald Dahl, like, as a kid? Like, have you read the fucking twits where they're dropping glass eyes in each other's fucking pints and fucking putting worms in spaghetti and putting, I don't know, God knows what else. Like, there's fucking, I remember Rick Mail, rest in peace, narrating fucking, what was it? George's Marvelous Medicine, I think it was. And, talking about dog poo and stuff like that. Like, it's just, kids like gross stuff. So the audience that you're trying to shield from it probably is the people that would actually get the most amusement out of it anyway. And it just seems all very strange. And it's come from left field. Like you say, no announcement, no incident that's required it being dealt with. And again, stuff like Legendary Leah, multiple instances of accidental nip slips and whoops-a-doodle. What's that? Right? Hello, I'm just going to stand next to my webcam and spread my legs really wide, like as I bend over for no reason. And again, fucking, that doesn't bother me. But like, that warrants a few weeks ban, and yet we're going to take these really fucking harmless emotes away from people. And it just very bizarre. And again, no communication as to why it's happened. And I really don't like this infantilizing of esports and gaming in general. I think we need to move away from that. I think we need to actually accept that this is not just a childish pursuit. Adults do this, and adults want to talk about adult things. Would you at least perhaps in if you were Twitch consider, if you're 18 plus, you can have 18 plus emotes? Well, why not? The audience has to say they're 18 plus to get in there. That should absolve me of any fucking responsibility if a kid cries because they've seen a dog's bottom. Which, again, just seems highly unlikely. So, yeah, we're very strange about this. And, again, it didn't seem to blow up, actually. Bit weird, right?
Yeah. People
don't seem to get outraged about people that support outrage culture. Very bizarre. So let's do Counter-Strike, shall we? Couple of big ones to end the show on. Let's start with SK Gaming and everything that's been going on there. And, obviously, because I work over at E-League right now, I do sort of try and recuse myself from it. I haven't said anything about it publicly, but it does look now at the point we're at. They're going to announce the Luminosity roster. Certainly, I've heard people talking about it privately. they've said like, oh, yeah, this is definitely going ahead. And I don't mean in a working capacity. I just mean people messaging me on Skype and things like that. And I'm disinterested, but I do think this is an interesting move. Because obviously SK Gaming, for the longest period of time, this is one of the oldest brands in esports, one of the biggest names in Counter-Strike. They've not had a team commensurate to that. They've really not. They've kind of been in the wilderness for a long period of time, and it's been a shame that they haven't been able to get a good team. Now, the organization doesn't always have a particular sterling reputation if you go right the way back. I can't speak to anything recently. I've certainly not heard anything. But I also have heard that this whole thing has been handled not particularly well by either side. People will remember that Luminosity all came out and were like, well, this happened and that happened. And SK Gaming basically were just like, yeah, but they signed some contracts, so what the fuck? So this looks like a real mess, but it's a mess that looks like it's going to go ahead, that these Brazilian players are going to go to SK Gaming. Now, interestingly enough, there's a new dynamic to this, and that is that SK Gaming have been sold to another organization. So Luminosity are going to SK are getting bought, and they're going to rebrand. That's what people are saying right now. And it sounds a bit weird, but it makes sense. Because from what I understand, I don't think SK Gaming really had the financial clout to come in and get Luminosity. Yeah.
And what's a better sales pitch, right? Like, we're going to have the best CSGO team in the world right now under our belt. Maybe you want to buy it out.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can see how it would all come together. Some people are saying it's going to be a sports team. Some people have noticed that the owner and founder of SK Gaming has recently been following representatives of Bayern Munich on Twitter. Some people have said that it's going to be evil geniuses. So there's lots of speculation about who it's going to be. Honestly, I just keep my head in the sand because I don't want to get accused of leaking any secrets or whatever while I'm working for a league. So, which is fine. I don't think it's appropriate. But what I will say is I'm going to be intrigued to see what happens for Luminosity next, because Luminosity struck gold with this team. They absolutely struck gold. They couldn't have believed this team would go on to be the best team in the world, win majors. When they picked them up, they absolutely couldn't. Nobody would have had that vision. It seems absolutely insane if you would say now, well, we always knew they could do it. Absolutely no chance. And on top of that, given that it's already been a fractious move, what's going to happen in terms of the players and the org anyway? Like, do the players want to be at the organization? Certainly publicly, they made it sound like they didn't want to be at the organization. They made it sound like they signed these contracts under duress, which of course, isn't true, certainly based on my understanding of the situation. And it's, what's going to happen now? Like, what happens to, for example, like Luminosity and SK Gaming, for example? I've got concerns. They're both in a competition like E-League. What happens to these spots? Because we've got two teams, but now not only is Luminosity and SK Gaming doing this lateral move, we don't know if Luminosity are going to pick anyone up or going to be able to afford to or even want to. Because I can understand the owner of Luminosity being a little bit bitter about the way this is handled. You've had this great team. There's been a lot of back and forth, and then you end up losing them to a team, and then that team subsequently gets bought by another organization, probably for lots of money. So yeah, who knows how that's going to pan out? It's this mad shuffle. What I did think was really interesting was, Ralph Reichart, obviously the one of the founders of ESL. Well, he had shares in SK Gaming, and they were very, very close way back in the day. There was a lot of links between the two organizations, and that was in a different time. That was at a time when that kind of thing was acceptable. But he put out this little tweet, probably about 4 weeks ago now, where he was talking about how he sold his shares, but he didn't expressly say that the twit longer wasn't, I have selling shares in SK Gaming. It was like something like a piece of esports history. It had like some very vague title, and in it he went, "Yep, I've sold my shares in SK Gaming." I think that was because a lot of people were talking about this Weezer stuff at the time and SK Gaming and how it was going, and blah blah blah. It just makes me wonder, like, really what's happened here, because I know enough about esports to know that, like, probably this has all been in the pipeline for a while. Certainly when SK Gaming were endorsing Weezer, they'll have had knowledge that the Brazilians were probably going to go there, or it was up in the air and it was going to go one way or the other. And probably the buyout was predicated on whether or not that deal was sealed, right? And Ralph divests himself of his shares to avoid any accusations of bias, but probably has been, financially compensated for it. And it just shows there's still a lot of ties in esports where things aren't transparent. Like, I'd just like to know exactly what the fuck has gone on here. What's the worst that can come out? Do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems so...
Careful, mate. This is esports. You know what the worst that could go out is.
Yeah, but, like, it just seems so strange and so bizarre that, this has been, like, this long, drawn-out saga. This is a team moving from one organization to another organization. Happens all the time. Why has this one been so fucking weird and layered and multifaceted, even to the point where if you were talking to parties that knew both teams, they couldn't even tell you what the fuck was going on. It would just change on a day-to-day basis. People would be like, oh, no, they're definitely staying with Luminosity. In fact, SK Gaming need to watch themselves. There was a rumor circulating that E-League, we were going to kick SK Gaming out of the league. I don't even know, we know that.
Pure bullshit, of course.
Yeah, absolute pure bullshit. That conversation never occurred. It just didn't occur on any level.
Didn't happen.
So and that was being alluded to by ESPN reporters and stuff. So very bizarre. The whole thing's just been a bizarre fiasco. The main thing in all of this is you've got some hardworking players who have really worked incredibly hard to get to the top of their trade, and hopefully it's not a distraction for them. Hopefully this hasn't really taken away their hunger or desire, because we know Fallen takes his reputation very seriously, and some people are even saying that it might be a little bit besmirched after all the way this was handled. That actually it looks like he was a little bit naive, a little bit stupid, perhaps even a little bit greedy. People have pointed the finger and said that, and he won't be used to that kind of criticism, because rightly he receives a lot of praise. So I'm intrigued to see how this one actually all comes out in the wash, whether there'll still be this consistent force under the SK banner or the EG banner or the Bayern Munich banner or whichever fucking banner it's going to be. Bruce fucking banner just hulking up like I don't know, right? But however it works out, this is the sort of thing that can really take a toll on a team.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't think he deserves that much flack for it. Right? Remember, this guy is a player first. Like, people are expecting this guy to be you realize he has raised his business this far. How can it call him stupid when he's brought it this far for having no experience in business management, straight from just I want this to work, and suddenly he makes one we don't even know bad deal yet.
Yeah.
And I don't see it, mate.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But anyway, so it looks like it's going to happen. Daily Dot put a report up the other day saying that it was going to happen. And, I think we'll see it announced pretty soon. It must be announced before the major. That's certainly what everyone's been saying, that it's going to be announced before the major, that they'll be playing under the SK banner at the major. So I guess we'll find out, or whatever banner it is. I mean, it must have all been resolved now, because I imagine we're so close to the major. Stickers and stuff must be getting ready, so it'll all come out in the next few days. I'm pretty confident about that. And the main thing is, I just hope that a really good team does get a really good home and is well looked after, and makes the money that they deserve and gets the accolades they deserve and has a platform to do that moving forward, because that's what it has to all be about at the end of the day. Now, big news.
Is it?
To go with big teeth. I'm going to send you this, actually. So I've got my dual computer set up. I didn't send you the link, but you can use it. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't link to Polygon. Don't really have a lot of respect for what they do over in that neck of the woods, and I'm sure a lot of people will understand why if you've followed their coverage. They've done some fairly shameful things even recently, but credit where credit is due, and good reporting deserves to be recognised no matter what outlet publishes it or who writes it. Anyway, Polygon published a story here saying Counter-Strike player files suit against Valve over illegal gambling surrounding CSGO, and illegal gambling is obviously in air quotations. Now, this is very interesting to me because, we did the Mo interview on the Richard Lewis show. We talked a lot about that, and me and Mo have talked about it extensively on and off air about how gambling, it's going to change. One of the reasons why a lot of these streamers, a lot of these people go out and take this exorbitant amounts of money is because they know it's on the table now. It's on the table now, and they are not getting it ever again. And in 1 year, it's not going to be there. It's going to be regulated, and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. And people know this, and that's why they're taking this money, because it's life-changing amounts of money. And the reason these gambling companies are offering this life-changing amount of money is because they know it's going to end, and they want to get as much as they can in as short a period of time as they can. They know regulation is coming. They know the ban hammer is coming down, and they know it's going to get resolved. They know there's going to be all sorts of legislature coming in. They know that in an election year especially, politicians are going to take a fucking run at it, and it's all going to come tumbling down. It's all going to come tumbling down. Same thing happened with all this fantasy betting in America, if you remember. Like, that had been determined to be a game of skill, not gambling. They had the golden ticket, and people got greedy and fucked it up, and look where we are now. All the fucking advertising pulled, all the sponsorships pulled, all the marketing budgets pulled. It was a license to fucking print money, and people fucked it up. And that's why, if you ever ask yourself why a streamer is like, well, why are these companies paying $50,000 a month to people like Mo? Here's why. Because they advertise it, they get you to fucking go and play on it, they show you expressly how to play on it, and you go and do it, don't you? And they're making fucking $100,000 a day, mad money, crazy shit. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but Henry G had a very small site in the form of Easy Skins. And again, it was Easy Skins. It was just a lottery. It's all it was. No big problem. It wasn't betting on matches or anything like that. So it was literally just a spin the wheel type situation. He made enough money to warrant having done it even for a short period of time. Not massive amounts of money, not like this shit, but he made a very good return on it and was able to pay people that worked for him, and power to him. Again, he did nothing wrong. He did nothing illegal. There was never any complaints about it. It was all ethical. But that's why these people come in, because it literally is a license to print money. While there is a monetary value associated with these in-game items, it is a fucking license to print money, and people are going to want to get more, and people are going to want to get more and more and more, potentially sell them through third-party means, trade them for in-game money, this is a full economy now. And it's literally at the stage where I'm amazed the legislature hasn't already come in, frankly. It seems to me just so obvious that these in-game items have this very high monetary value.
That's what I'm thinking about. How do you legislate something that isn't tangible? Like, is it even possible? You'd have to make like fairy tale law to make this possible. Like, well, it's not tangible. Like, it's nothing. It's a thing. In fact, it's Valve's property. You can't even put legislature on it, can you?
Well,
Valve will have to be the one to implement it.
Here's the problem. Obviously, now what we're looking at is virtual currencies, cryptocurrencies. It would come under blanket legislature. Skins would have to be classified as a virtual currency, and no doubt that any legislature that followed would be appropriate. Same to anything else that has a monetary value but isn't itself physical money that you can use or for regular services. So, very interesting story today on Polygon by Michael McWhirter, and literally came on while we were planning the show for today. And basically, a Counter-Strike Global Offensive player has filed a lawsuit as an individual against Valve, saying the game maker is allowing illegal online gambling market to spring up and propagate around the popular online shooter. And in the suit, the quote, it says, Valve knowingly allowed and have been complicit in creating, sustaining, and facilitating a market where players and third parties trade weapon skins like casino chips. So The lawsuit was filed on behalf of somebody in Connecticut called Michael John McLeod, and it alleges that Valve and third-party sites such as CSGO Diamond, CSGO Lounge, and OP Skins knowingly allow, support, and sponsor illegal gambling by allowing millions of Americans to link their individual Steam accounts to third-party websites. And through those websites, skins for CSGO, which can be purchased from Valve, can easily be traded and used as collateral for bets. It continues, in the esports gambling economy, skins are like casino chips that have monetary value outside of the game itself because of the ability to convert them directly into cash. And then they also say Valve directly profit from these transactions, which of course they do because they take a percentage of any.
Yeah, but they don't take a percentage if they swap for real money. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how that's the case, because they don't benefit from trading into cash. The problem here is cash, right? If they were just trading more and more skins, that's not a problem. The pack, you can sell it on like skins, websites like.
Well, I actually from the wording of this suit though, it sounds like it's not just the cash. It is the fact that you actually engage in betting, which sure there's a money.
That can't be true, because like, say if I make a game now, right? I make my own poker game, but I just made it myself, coded it myself, and then I play you, and then I win, and I take your fake chips, and now they're my fake chips. Yeah. Am I running a betting ring? Surely not, right?
Well, again, I don't know enough about it, and we are actually going to do a couple of shows about this, because I think I see the winds of change. I've already lined up some pretty hard-hitting guests. They're going to talk a lot about this, including a lawyer that nobody will actually know in the scene, not a fucking esports lawyer. This is a real heavy hitter and somebody with amazing amounts of experience when it comes to this type of thing. I'm going to be talking to them, and like I say, other guests as to be named. But these people have a very broad view on it, and this isn't like, I love Scott, obviously. Me and Scott have disagreed slightly on the gambling element of this, and Scott has his views, I have mine. That's so Scoot. But these people are coming in looking at it from legal perspectives, not rather like gut feelings and everything else. So I'm going to be intrigued to hear what they have to say. And look, I can be swayed on this issue. Well, the thing I've never believed in is that it's some sort of mad corrupting factor. I also think personal accountability has to come into it. I don't like people who turn around and say, I gambled all my money away. This is the fault of the state. This is the fault of the gambling company. This is the fault of everybody else but me. I don't like that. Right? I don't like encouraging that lack of personal accountability in anything. But anyway, he talks about how he did it as a minor, in this Mr. McLeod, who's taken the lawsuit out against Valve. And he says that he did it both as a minor, as an adult, and he lost money, which is the problem. He was empowered to do it, and he lost money doing it. And I'll read from the suit. It says, in sum, Valve owns the league, sells the casino chips, and receives a piece of the casino's income stream through foreign websites in order to maintain the charade that Valve is not promoting and profiting from online gambling, like a modern-day Captain Renault from Casablanca. That most of the people in the CSGO gambling economy are teenagers and under 21 makes Valve's and the other defendants' actions even more unconscionable.
Is that even true?
There's
no way to confirm that.
Well, I mean, maybe Valve have those numbers. I don't know if this.
And if they did, they wouldn't be giving them out to Mr. McLeod, would they, mate?
I don't know if this lawyer or indeed Mr. McLeod has access to this. But again, this was always going to happen. Valve have been quiet. Look, I very rarely criticize Valve. For me, I say this all the time. They're the example of a developer that does it right. I'm honored and privileged to play a very high role in working on one of their titles, and I'm very happy to be able to do it and make a living from doing it. But they occasionally do get things. Well, not wrong, but they do things that I can't understand. I can't see it. And for the longest period of time, they've been super quiet about the whole gambling issue. They've just not said anything. They've never come out and had a stance. It took a while to even get them to say, we don't think pros should gamble on the outcome of their games. Now, I'd make the argument, actually, if you're a pro player, you should fucking understand that implicitly from day one. But obviously, a lot of people didn't, and a lot of people have done that, and a lot of people have got upset about it, not being able to do it. It makes no sense to me. But this is fucking crazy. This is like, surely you've got to come out before this stage and say skins gambling is just you know, we realize that we can refine the model, or we don't believe it's gambling. We don't believe it corrupts the youth. We don't endorse people selling skins for money. Just something, just a blanket statement.
Well,
but
it's
again,
in their terms of service. You're not supposed to sell it for real money.
well, yeah,
That is
but,
a stance. Like,
but it obviously happens, and obviously a lot of these sites, you know, Valve could block a lot of these gambling sites immediately. You know,
they could make it harder.
I know. I think this is fucking Valve, dude. Like, they could fucking code it so you just can't use bots or anything, or plug in to the game, and they could probably they could even, it's their intellectual property. They can fucking issue injunctions and stop sites from doing it. I mean, sure, it probably wouldn't end. It would be driven underground. But this mass problem that we supposedly have, and again, I need to see why it's a problem. I need to see the numbers. How many people are losing money? How many kids are being actually measurably corrupted by this? I don't want to hear these sob stories about, I stole my parents' credit card and got in a yeah, you stole your parents' credit card. That's problem number one. Your lack of moral fiber. So again, personal accountability. There's a fine line on this, and I don't want to fucking go and just completely blame the people for creating something that actually, if you do it responsibly, it can be a lot of fucking fun. You know, I'm totally not against gambling. I think it should be legal everywhere. The idea of it as a terrible vice, it just seems to me, again, it's like, you know, we drinking's got to be worse. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's the only device where sometimes you come out up money. Even if you're a bungee jumper, you're always paying for that bungee jump, homie.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's a chance you can actually come out and win. Anyway, if you go to the Polygon link, we'll probably put it in the link to the video, you can actually read the lawsuit in its entirety. You can read the suit in its entirety. There was a weird bit as well. I'll just read this. Yeah.
E-League is actually referenced on the front page of that complaint.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, a lot of things are as well. So
yeah.
Well, obviously, it's not just E-League. But yeah, you can see here. There's this weird bit here where it says Counter-Strike Global Offensive was released on consoles and PC platforms in August 2012. A year later, Valve released the Arms Deal update for CSGO, which added more than 100 decorative skins for players to collect, buy, sell, and trade. With the Arms Deal update, players could, and then this is in quotes, experience all the illicit thrills of black market weapons trafficking without any of the hanging around in darkened warehouses getting knifed to death. So, Valve have had a joke there. They've told the joke. Don't use that in this article, please, Polly. Come on, there's no need. There's no need
in quotes if it did actually happen. Like.
Yeah. So that's ridiculous. Like, Valve have just made a joke. They've just done a funny.
It's almost like it's called Arms Deal.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
You know.
It's a joke. But anyway, so that it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see a lot more of this shit, and this is actually being billed as a class action suit, which obviously means other people can get involved if they feel similarly afflicted. Now, this might just get shut down. Valve might just settle. There might be no legislature moving forward. But I honestly think by the end of 2016, and certainly by the start of 2017, we're going to have some legislature in place. I think it's going to be classified as gambling, and I think things are going to change. And I think anybody that's involved with this type of business right now, they're in a position actually where it makes more sense to just be grabbing the money and taking it all. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, because I think people can see the wind of change is about to come, and you know. But it was super interesting, I thought, anyway, and I'm gonna follow that with a lot of interest to see which way that goes. Now, just to close out the show, people who follow my Twitter will have already seen this, and I need you to just bring up some pictures and stuff here. But and this is the last time I'm ever going to talk about this individual chap. But there's a guy who I'm sure you've all heard of. I've done videos about him before. It's a guy called FODDER. I won't even use his real name. A guy called FODDER, who basically is like just known for being a cheater. He was always a cheater. He cheated in 1.6. He's cheated in every version of Counter-Strike that he's played. He's been a person who always kind of was just a little bit trollish about it. Used to be like, hey, I'm one of the best players who's ever touched the game, but was so obviously cheating and hadn't really gone to any notable lands or ever played in any notable teams. Just one of those classic online cheaters. and basically used to use that notoriety to stand out from the crowd of other cheaters, and nobody takes him seriously. But he recently has found himself, doing the same in CS:GO. He got a VAC ban. The CS:GO dev said, "Look, you were absolutely cheating. Just end of it." He accused Valve of doing it manually and not being able to prove that he cheated, which he didn't. Obviously, at the time, he was standing by the lie. And then he got banned again and banned again. And then he put up this post on HLTV saying, "Oh, I only cheated in 1 or 2 games." The classic. Like, it's always the first time they've ever done it when they get caught after years of doing it. And I made a video about it, but basically saying that this is somebody who is probably not very well, and has some issues going on, and obviously is overly invested in the game. So I come back from work today, back from E-League, sit down, got my Twitter blowing up. Can you DM FODDER? He's got something very important to tell you. It's like, you'll really want to see this. So I'm like, okay, let's have a look. And to be fair, initially I said I'm not going to encourage that poor soul anymore, because I do really feel sorry for him. Like, really, really feel sorry for him. He's very disturbed, I think. And they anyway, so I unblocked him, and immediately just a deluge of nonsense, talking about how he got a Twitter DM from Sevo admin Spangler, who obviously I've met when I've been working Sevo and MLG events. And this doesn't even sound him. Like, me and him have Skyped each other, me and him have messaged each other on Twitter. It doesn't even look like how he writes. But it was basically, haha, your ban wasn't manual. Sorry, your ban wasn't a detection. We did it manually. Enjoy your ban. It was all fake. And if you show this to anyone, I'll just say my Twitter was hacked. Like, who the fuck would even send that, right? Like, think about it. It's so ridiculous. Like, so
lives in his mind.
Yeah, and then
Whoa.
there was a Reddit thread.
Just fucked up the production for 7 minutes. Right, be back.
It's good. It's good. Good to know.
Just play the intro again. Wake you all up. Make sure you pay attention.
Good. I thought I heard something. Like, I can only hear it. It's super quiet for me. So anyway, then there was like a Reddit post that he linked to, and the admins from the CSGO subreddit deleted it, saying that he'd been hacked. Now, basically, this has happened quite a bit. We saw it with the Yi Lamau thing. He got compromised, absolutely no doubt in my mind. There's someone been going around hacking Reddits and associated Twitters, if they can get them, for quite a while. In fact, there was a front page post where some guy was saying, "I'm going to make a demo player that'll play all versions of Counter-Strike." That account got compromised and hacked when it got to the front page of the CSGO subreddit. And what did the person do again? It was about cheating. They were saying, "Oh, we're gonna fucking, I'm gonna reveal all of the players." I've emailed Kolnok, whatever he's called, KO1N, and if he doesn't reveal who's been cheating, fuck him. I'm gonna go public and reveal all of his details and dox him. And again, the admins deleted that. So people are getting hacked right now. Accounts are getting compromised. Any suggestion to the contrary is ridiculous, based on the balance of the evidence. And anyway, basically what happened here is Spangler's Reddit account probably did get compromised. I think his Twitter probably did as well, possibly by a friend of FODDER's, because FODDER obviously as a cheater will associate with hackers and people who do this stuff. And that's just the nature of the beast, right? And so he's messaging me all of this stuff, and I'm just like, look, you cheated, you're banned, and don't bother me again. Just blocked him again instantly. So he's now been on Twitter basically tweeting at E-League saying, look, this guy is in on a conspiracy to keep me banned. Like, with all the, right, I'm moving to America. I'm working on a fucking TV show, right? Like, trust me, really low on my list of priorities is like getting involved in a mass conspiracy to keep one of the most obvious and pathetic cheaters in Counter-Strike history banned from a league that he's banned from. Like, just why the fuck would I be doing that? Shit, man. He's on us, fucking hell. What we gonna do? It just makes no fucking sense, does it, right? Like, but anyway, this is the kind of shit that he comes up with in his brain. It's my fault. I shouldn't have unblocked him. I shouldn't have engaged with him. When people are this sick, you just can't. You just can't do it. But anyway, so if you want to bring up some of the tweets that he's been tweeting, good. There's a few others as well. I think there was one where he's now threatening to dox me. Did you get that one?
No, I'll find it.
Yeah, it's
there it is.
Yeah. Like, apparently someone went on his stream. Coincidentally, here's the thing. He's saying that it's made up, that Spangler was hacked, yet he's showing that somebody has compromised the Sevo and Spangler's Skype logs on his stream. Right, and saying that this same person has revealed my personal information. Now, I've been doxxed a few times, mainly by League of Legends people, and encouraged by the League of Legends moderators for the subreddit when they tweet things out, like saying I drove someone to kill themselves and all this other gibberish. But this is just, you know, you can all see it's absolutely ridiculous. So this guy, you know, first of all, here's what I will say: if you've banned this guy from your league, like Face It and Sevo and probably a few others have, it's fairly clear to me right now that you are doing this guy a favor, actually, long term. He's got way over invested in this game. He's always wanted to be somebody, prove he's the best player without actually having any of the requisite skills to do so. This is a guy who has, you know, clearly been a cheat for a long time, and I think somewhere along the line, the reality and the fiction has begun to blur. Now, I think the point where he actually snapped, and it's hard to keep up with it all because obviously he's doing lots of crazy things all the time, and to be honest, I've just tuned the fuck out. But there's a website out there, and again, nobody should have to go through this. It's disgusting, but there is a website out there where basically, if you go to this address, it's him jerking off. It's a video of him jerking off.
Sound.
Have you seen it?
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
The address might be fairly easy to figure out. Yeah, I'll just send it to you. Definitely don't show it. I mean,
why am I clicking on this live on a show?
I think it's that one. It's something like that.
I thought it'd be that.
What are you saying it for?
I didn't say it. I said I thought it'd be that.
I mean, nah.
Thought it'd be that.
No, I mean, nah. Right, anyway.
Oh wait, that's got sound. Dude, that is just the do, man.
Yeah, good.
Do.
Good. I don't know why he's got porn music at the start, right? But anyway, like, I'm laughing about it. This is disgusting. This should never happen to anyone. Like, if he was in his right mind, instead of worrying about stuff like accusing me of conspiracies, he should get that taken down. Really, he should, because nobody should have to go through revenge porn. It's awful. Like, I don't know how I'd react to it. You know,
what is it? Is it FODDER?
Yeah.
This is definitely him.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is thing.
That's
yeah, I got that now. I just got skipped it, man.
Yeah. Don't watch it, mate. It'll change your life. It'll change your life. So basically, like, what happened was, apparently, like, he reached out to some girl on Skype and was just doing the classic, well, this is cybersex, I guess. What possible risk could come from this? Fapping away, and she filmed it and just put
and scene.
And just recorded it, and then it's been leaked out. Obviously, he's not like a popular person. You know, this is somebody whose entire existence is basically about trolling and making people irate. So that's out there, and you know, look, again, I'm genuinely sympathetic. That should be taken down. Whoever put that up's a piece of shit. That's just the reality of it. Whoever records somebody else in an intimate moment and then just makes it public, like, because you want to get back at them, you know, fucking hell, it's just not cool. Like,
revenge porn's illegal now, right? Surely he's got a case instead of this one where he's trying to file a case against Twitch.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Obviously, you can just see, like, he tried to go back, he got banned from Twitch, obviously, for multiple, because cheating is against the terms of service, by pretending to be his twin brother, Dogger, I think he was saying, or he was pretending to be a dog, like, I don't know, one of the two. Hard to keep up, and now he's saying he's going to sue Twitch for unjustly banning him. I mean, it's unbelievable, like, just how fucked.
Not even a case can ban you for no reason if he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so.
Even citing a case number, which I'm pretty sure is just like, I don't know, half a fucking Steam key for fucking the wanky shit demon game. I don't even know. Like, so anyway, like, I think at that point that's probably where the break happened. You know, like, because he was just like, you finally connect with someone, you just get fucking wrecked like that. Like, but anyway. Bottom line is, this guy is just fucking out of control, and if you've banned him from a league, you're definitely doing him a favor. He should just be banned from Counter-Strike, like, full fucking stop, because it's the only way he's going to get well. Like, I'm being deadly fucking serious about it. And here's the thing: if you're a friend of his and you're seeing all of this, like, and you happen to stumble across this video, you gotta fucking say someone to his family or something. Like, you've really got to, or do it yourself. You've got to intervene at this point. This guy is so deeply unwell. It's really, really sad to see somebody in public like this, and that's why I don't engage, because often I'll retweet the crazies or have an argument with somebody if they're saying something patently stupid. I feel genuinely bad saying anything malicious or mean or spiteful to this person because I genuinely believe that he does need help. And I think at this stage, if you're a friend of his and you're enabling him and you're watching this happen, you're part of the fucking problem. You know, like you've got to actually just get involved and stop him, you know, fucking humiliating himself publicly like this. This isn't normal behavior for somebody of his age. You know, like it points to having a very serious health problem. And I honestly hope that somebody out there is going to fucking take responsibility, and somebody in his life is going to take responsibility and just look after him or make his family aware or whatever you have to do. Because I've been around a lot of psychosis, Sam. You know, I've seen it. I've seen drug psychosis before, for example, one type of psychosis, and it's not good. Like it really isn't good. And some people need medication. Some people need fucking therapy. Some people even need to be institutionalized. You know, they have to be a fucking inpatient. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely not qualified to make a diagnosis, but when somebody is doing things like this, I think it's easy to fucking say they're not right, they're not well, you know, like that's, you know something's off. You don't know what it is, right? I couldn't tell you the technical term, but I'll certainly tell you this isn't fucking normal behavior. So hopefully that happens, but I thought I'd just tell everyone about it because obviously he is now trying to, you know, do the classic of trying to get me fired, which...
Just had a new tweet, mate, that you might want to check out.
Oh, what's that?
He said, "That's cute. At Sevo and at ESEA working together for once. Too bad it was to pay Yi Lamau 15,000 bitcoins. I don't blame him. That's some good cash." So apparently they paid him 15,000 bitcoins. So let me just do the math on that, mate.
Yeah, do the math.
15,000 bitcoins, $2. It's going to be in the mill range minimum. That is, yeah, just, nope, that's way over a mil. That is just 99 mil. Just paid 99 mil, mate.
What for, though?
Deal with that.
What for?
I don't know.
Paying him for what?
Oh, no, I fucked up. It's 9 mil. My bad there.
Yeah, but still.
Just under 10 mil. I had 150,000 bitcoins. I don't know, mate. But they paid him 10 mil for it.
Like, I know who this guy is. Like, he definitely hasn't got fucking...
Josh Raven, big lips. There he goes. There
he is. Right? But,
what's he even doing? Like, what's in the kitchen? The cat. Mate, let him know that all we got in that kitchen's water.
No, I think he's
just got water.
You think he's getting some Reese's, man?
There was exist in the bathroom, mate.
So anyway, like, right, Yi Lamau was a guy who admitted that he got these deep insider leaks from a Skype group with 271 people in it. So you know, why...
10 mil?
Yeah. Do you want 10 mil to go on Reddit and stop leaking about the cheaters? Is that, I'm guessing that's what it is.
15,000 Bitcoin, just 10 mil. Like,
fuck.
Just 10 mil. What? There's nothing that... What is even worth 10 mil?
Oh, and of course, he accuses Guardian of cheating all the time as well. He's doing that. He's still tweeting about Guardian being a cheater. Fuck him. Honestly, it's so sad.
Oh, another one, mate. Honestly, CSGO is flat out going as fake as wrestling. This is pathetic, depressing, and insulting to 1.6's legacy.
Honestly.
I think we'll leave him with that, mate.
Yeah, it's gone. Anyway, so that was the show, mate. You know, it probably wasn't all that exciting. I did enjoy the SpongeBob story. I could see that bit getting animated. Maybe the rest.
Please animate that.
I'm a little bit out of practice, obviously. You know, and I'm pretty fucking tired because you know, full-time job straight crippling me.
If they animate that, if real good artist animates that, I'll try my best to find a picture and we'll make that public. So
all right, then. That's good. That's something to do. But anyway, it's been great. Thanks to everyone for listening. Obviously, we'll get back to doing a regular streaming schedule, and we will have a studio, so we're not just doing it in, you know, some squat somewhere with Josh Raven having a drink of water and midway through a show at the end. But anyway, so any final thoughts from you?
Rest in peace, easy.
All right, then. We'll see you next time on the Richard Lewis Show. Peace.